Extreme prices in any commodity never appear in isolation or by accident. They emerge only when underlying systems are already under stress or malfunctioning. Silver is no exception to this historical rule of market behavior. If silver were ever to reach extreme price conditions, it would signal deeper fractures. Those fractures would not begin with investors or retail speculation. They would begin inside industrial systems, supply chains, and financial infrastructure. Silver occupies a unique position between monetary history and modern industrial necessity. It functions simultaneously as a store of value and a critical production input. This dual role makes extreme price scenarios especially revealing rather than merely dramatic. When silver prices move beyond historically accepted ranges, systems respond unevenly. Some systems fail quickly, while others absorb stress temporarily before breaking later. Understanding what would break first requires examining how silver is actually used. Most silver demand today is not driven by jewelry or investment bars. It is driven by industrial consumption embedded in complex global supply chains. Electronics, energy technologies, medical equipment, and precision manufacturing depend on silver. These industries are designed around predictable material costs and reliable availability. Extreme silver prices would immediately challenge those assumptions. Manufacturers operate on margins optimized for stability, not extreme volatility. When input costs surge unexpectedly, cost absorption becomes impossible at scale. The first stress point would therefore appear inside industrial procurement systems. Long-term contracts would be tested under conditions they were not designed for. Suppliers would struggle to meet obligations without renegotiation or delay. Delivery timelines would stretch as buyers compete for available material. This competition would not be speculative, but operationally necessary. Production schedules would begin slipping quietly rather than collapsing publicly. These delays would ripple through downstream industries before appearing in headlines. Extreme silver prices would also expose the limits of inventory management strategies. Modern supply chains rely heavily on just-in-time inventory systems. These systems minimize holding costs, but sacrifice resilience under stress. When a critical input becomes scarce or prohibitively expensive, inventory buffers vanish. Factories cannot simply pause indefinitely without financial consequences. They must either secure material at extreme cost or reduce output. Reduced output would translate into shortages of finished goods. Those shortages would appear first in specialized components, not consumer products. Over time, however, consumer-facing industries would feel the effects. Energy infrastructure would represent another early stress point. Silver is essential for photovoltaic solar panel efficiency and electrical conductivity. Energy transition strategies assume stable access to these materials. Extreme silver prices would force difficult trade-offs between cost and deployment speed. Projects could be delayed, redesigned, or abandoned based on material economics. This would not be a political decision, but an engineering constraint. Financial systems would experience a different kind of stress simultaneously. Extreme commodity prices alter risk models used by banks and institutions. Collateral valuations would shift as silver-backed instruments reprice. Margin requirements on futures and derivatives would increase rapidly. This would force participants to post additional capital or reduce exposure. Liquidity would tighten even if overall market participation remained high. Volatility would increase, not because of panic, but because of repricing mechanics. Extreme prices would also challenge price discovery mechanisms themselves. Futures markets rely on sufficient liquidity and broad participation. When physical availability tightens, futures pricing can become distorted. Disconnects between paper prices and physical premiums would widen. This divergence historically signals stress rather than equilibrium. Hedging strategies would become less effective under these conditions. Producers and consumers hedge to reduce uncertainty, not amplify it. When hedges fail to provide stability, confidence erodes quietly. Confidence erosion rarely triggers immediate collapse. It triggers conservative behavior across financial and industrial systems. Credit conditions would begin tightening for industries reliant on silver. Lenders reassess risk when input costs become unpredictable. Higher perceived risk leads to stricter financing terms. Stricter terms slow investment and expansion plans. This creates a feedback loop reinforcing supply constraints. Extreme silver prices would also test monetary narratives. Silver has historically functioned as a barometer of trust. When trust in monetary systems weakens, precious metals gain attention. However, extreme prices suggest stress rather than healthy diversification. They imply that alternatives are being sought out of necessity. This distinction matters for interpreting market signals responsibly. Extreme prices are symptoms, not solutions. They indicate strain within systems designed for stability. Governments and policymakers would face difficult choices under such conditions. Strategic materials often become subjects of policy coordination during stress. Export controls, stockpiling, and prioritization frameworks may be considered. These measures aim to protect domestic industries, not manipulate markets. However, policy interventions can further distort global availability. Coordination challenges would emerge between allied economies. Each nation prioritizes its own industrial resilience under pressure. This fragmentation can accelerate systemic stress rather than relieve it. Extreme prices therefore expose governance limitations alongside market limitations. The global nature of silver supply compounds these challenges. Mining, refining, and consumption occur across multiple jurisdictions. Disruptions in one region cascade across others unpredictably. Extreme prices would make these interdependencies impossible to ignore. Transparency would decline as bilateral arrangements replace open markets. Information asymmetry would increase uncertainty for smaller participants. Smaller manufacturers and emerging economies would face disproportionate impact. They lack the leverage to secure long-term supply at fixed terms. This inequality would widen gaps between industrial leaders and followers. Extreme silver prices would therefore reshape competitive landscapes. Industries capable of absorbing costs would consolidate advantage. Others would be forced to exit or consolidate. These outcomes unfold gradually but decisively. They rarely reverse quickly once structural changes take hold. The key insight is that nothing breaks all at once. Systems strain, adapt, and then fail selectively. Extreme silver prices would reveal where resilience truly exists. They would expose assumptions built into modern economic design. Assumptions about abundance, stability, and frictionless global trade. When those assumptions fail, consequences appear first in quiet places. Factories, contracts, financing terms, and logistics networks reveal stress early. By the time prices dominate public attention, damage is already done. This is why extreme price scenarios matter even hypothetically. They help identify fragilities before they become unavoidable realities. Understanding what would break first is not about fear. It is about recognizing how complex systems behave under pressure. Silver provides a unique lens for observing this behavior. Its role touches technology, energy, finance, and history simultaneously. That makes extreme silver price scenarios unusually informative, not as predictions, but as diagnostic tools that reveal where modern systems are strongest and weakest. Beyond industrial systems, extreme silver prices would immediately pressure financial infrastructure. Financial markets are designed to manage volatility, but not prolonged structural dislocation. Silver participates in futures markets, options markets, and collateralized financial arrangements. Extreme price conditions would alter how risk is priced across these systems. The first visible strain would emerge inside futures and derivatives markets. Margin requirements are adjusted dynamically based on volatility and perceived risk. As prices move into unfamiliar territory, margin demands rise sharply. Higher margin requirements force participants to post additional capital quickly. Not all participants can meet these demands without reducing exposure. Forced position reductions can amplify volatility without reflecting true fundamentals. This process does not require panic to occur. It unfolds mechanically through clearing and settlement rules. Liquidity becomes thinner as participants step back defensively. Thinner liquidity makes price movements more sensitive to smaller trades. This sensitivity feeds back into volatility metrics used by risk models. Risk models respond by tightening further, reinforcing the cycle. Extreme silver prices would also affect the role of silver as collateral. Some financial arrangements use precious metals as collateral backing. As prices rise sharply, collateral valuations increase, but stability decreases. Lenders prefer predictable collateral over volatile collateral. Volatility reduces the usefulness of an asset as a stabilizing anchor. This paradox means rising prices do not always improve financing conditions. In fact, financing terms may tighten despite higher nominal values. Banks reassess exposure when collateral behavior becomes unpredictable. Credit availability for silver-dependent businesses would face additional scrutiny. This scrutiny would not be uniform across all borrowers. Large institutions with diversified operations would fare better than smaller firms. Smaller firms face higher relative risk from input price instability. This imbalance can accelerate consolidation within affected industries. Extreme silver prices would therefore indirectly reshape corporate landscapes. Institutional investors would respond differently than industrial participants. Large funds adjust allocations based on correlations and portfolio balance. Extreme moves can break historical correlations used in asset models. When correlations fail, diversification assumptions collapse temporarily. This forces funds to rebalance positions across asset classes. Rebalancing can create pressure in unrelated markets. Silver's extreme pricing could therefore transmit stress outward. This transmission occurs through portfolio mechanics rather than intent. Risk parity strategies, for example, depend on stable volatility relationships. When volatility spikes unevenly, those strategies reduce exposure broadly. This can tighten liquidity beyond the silver market itself. Central banks monitor such dynamics closely. Extreme commodity price behavior can influence inflation expectations. Inflation expectations affect interest rate policy and communication strategies. Silver's industrial role complicates its interpretation within inflation models. It reflects both cost push pressures and confidence dynamics. Extreme prices blur the line between monetary and industrial signals. Policymakers face difficulty separating transient shocks from structural change. Delayed or cautious responses may exacerbate uncertainty. Conversely, aggressive responses risk unintended consequences. This policy dilemma represents another system under stress. Payment systems would also experience indirect effects. Higher input costs increase working capital requirements for manufacturers. Higher working capital needs increase reliance on short-term financing. Short-term financing strains can cascade through payment networks. Late payments and settlement delays become more frequent under stress. These frictions rarely make headlines, but degrade system efficiency. Insurance markets would encounter additional challenges. Some industries insure against supply disruptions and price volatility. Extreme prices can exceed insured thresholds or exclusions. When coverage fails, losses are absorbed directly by firms. This absorption affects balance sheets and investment capacity. Legal disputes over contract terms may increase. Contracts written under normal assumptions face stress under extreme conditions. Force majeure clauses may be invoked more frequently. Litigation risk increases uncertainty and delays resolution. Extreme silver prices would therefore test legal frameworks alongside markets. Global trade finance would face compounding pressure. Letters of credit and trade guarantees depend on predictable costs. When costs fluctuate rapidly, financing approvals slow. Slower approvals delay shipments and production schedules. These delays compound across international supply chains. Emerging markets would face disproportionate impact. They often lack access to flexible financing and alternative suppliers. Currency volatility magnifies cost, increases in local terms. Extreme prices exacerbate existing vulnerabilities in developing economies. Advanced economies are not immune, but they adapt faster. Adaptation speed becomes a competitive advantage under stress. Governments may respond with strategic stockpiling initiatives. Stockpiling reduces immediate pressure, but tightens global availability. This introduces a coordination problem between nations. Each country acts rationally in isolation. Collectively, these actions can worsen global shortages. Such dynamics have precedent in energy and food markets. Silver would follow similar patterns under extreme conditions. Market transparency would decline as bilateral arrangements increase. Reduced transparency increases uncertainty for price discovery. Uncertainty elevates risk premiums demanded by participants. Higher risk premiums embed higher prices structurally. This process locks in elevated price regimes longer. Extreme silver prices would also influence technological choices. Manufacturers may redesign products to reduce silver usage. However, redesign cycles take years, not months. Short-term substitution options are limited. This rigidity increases sensitivity to supply shocks. Over time, innovation may reduce reliance on silver. In the interim, systems remain exposed. Extreme prices accelerate innovation but do not eliminate pain. The gap between adaptation and disruption defines the stress period. During this period, systems operate under constant strain. Some systems adapt successfully, others fail quietly. Failures may not be dramatic but cumulative. Missed deliveries, reduced output, deferred investments, tighter credit. These outcomes accumulate into broader economic slowdown. Extreme silver prices would therefore act as a stress multiplier. They would not cause all problems directly. They would amplify existing fragilities already present. Understanding this amplification is critical for interpretation. Extreme prices are rarely root causes. They are signals revealing where resilience is insufficient. Financial systems are designed to distribute risk. Under extreme conditions, risk concentrates instead. Concentration increases the probability of localized failure. Localized failure can propagate if left unaddressed. History shows that early recognition matters. Ignoring stress signals delays corrective action. Extreme silver prices would demand careful interpretation, not as investment opportunities, but as systemic indicators. Indicators of where assumptions no longer hold. Assumptions about supply flexibility, liquidity, and coordination. When those assumptions fail, systems adjust painfully. Silver provides a unique lens for observing this adjustment. Its reach across industries magnifies its signaling power. Extreme scenarios therefore deserve analysis even hypothetically. They reveal structural weaknesses invisible under normal conditions. That insight is the real value of such analysis. Extreme silver prices would inevitably spill into global trade and geopolitical coordination. Trade systems rely on predictability more than they rely on absolute price levels. When predictability breaks down, coordination between nations becomes significantly more difficult. Silver's role across borders makes it especially sensitive to these coordination failures. Global trade in silver involves mining jurisdictions, refining hubs, and manufacturing centers. Each stage operates under different regulatory and political frameworks. Extreme prices would strain alignment between these frameworks simultaneously. Countries rich in raw resources would reassess export priorities under pressure. Exporting nations often face domestic pressure to prioritize internal stability. This pressure increases when strategic materials experience abnormal price behavior. Silver would increasingly be framed as a strategic resource rather than a neutral commodity. Once that framing takes hold, trade decisions become politicized by necessity. Governments may introduce informal guidance before formal policy measures appear. Such guidance can influence state-owned enterprises and regulated industries quietly. Private firms respond by aligning with perceived policy direction to reduce risk. These responses reduce global market transparency without explicit restrictions. Import-dependent nations would react defensively to these developments. They may seek bilateral agreements to secure supply outside open markets. Bilateral agreements reduce exposure, but fragment global trade flows. Fragmentation increases inefficiency and raises costs across the system. This inefficiency is not evenly distributed. Large economies with negotiating power fare better than smaller ones. Smaller economies face higher prices and reduced access. This imbalance can widen existing global inequalities. Geopolitical relationships would influence access under such conditions. Alliances become more economically relevant when supply is constrained. Strategic alignment may determine priority access to materials. This dynamic has historical precedent in energy and food markets. Silver would follow similar patterns if extreme prices emerged. Multilateral institutions would face challenges mediating these pressures. Organizations designed to promote free trade struggle during scarcity. Their mechanisms rely on cooperation rather than enforcement. When national interests diverge sharply, cooperation weakens. Dispute resolution processes become slower and less effective. Uncertainty persists longer as a result. Financial sanctions regimes add another layer of complexity. Countries subject to restrictions seek alternative trade arrangements. These arrangements bypass traditional settlement systems. Alternative systems reduce reliance on established financial infrastructure. Silver trade could increasingly settle through non-traditional channels. This reduces visibility for global regulators and market participants. Reduced visibility increases uncertainty and perceived risk. Perceived risk feeds back into pricing and contract terms. Insurance costs rise when uncertainty increases. Higher insurance costs discourage participation from smaller traders. This concentrates trade among larger, more resilient actors. Concentration further reduces competition and flexibility.